Hey guys, my name is Jasmine. I'm your inner work bestie, which means I'm here to help you learn how to love your life, love yourself, love your relationships, and to love God more. And today we're going to be talking about friendship breakups because going through a friendship breakup is one of the hardest life experiences, and nobody talks about it. Nobody tells you how to get through it. And we just kind of like smooth over things. Like we don't discuss what happens. And especially for girls, it's such friendships are such a staple in our lives. It really, really hurts when that ends. And sometimes it needs to end. We dismiss them at a lower level than a romantic breakup because, yeah, romantic breakups are hard to get through, but there's books on it, there's YouTube videos on it, there's just so many things to get through romantic breakups. Friendship breakups, we just kind of like leave them alone. We're like, oh, dang, like the friendship ended and you just have to move on with your life like you didn't lose one of your best friends. And who wants to do that? So, today we're going to be talking about 5 different steps on how to survive a friendship breakup and to do it healthily. And we're going to jump right into it. The first step to surviving a friendship breakup is to give your friend the same respect that you would give to a man. And what I mean is actually try to work out that relationship. Now, before you do this, just like you would give that respect to the man, evaluate, is this breakup happening because I want it? Is it because the other person wants it? Is it because they crossed a boundary? I let them know a boundary and they crossed it? Or is this just like a random argument, a random issue, a random things aren't feeling right? Because if it's a random issue, go to your friend and be like, hey, I feel like things have been weird. I really value our friendship. What's going on? And then when you go to them, you're going to want to go to them with like a sense of love and a sense of already forgiven. You're going to want to go to them with so much grace and understanding. So if you're angry, do some forgiveness work first because the point isn't to get into an argument with your friends. Sometimes you do have to get into an argument to resolve things because sometimes like communication, people don't know how to communicate outside of arguments. But at the same time, you don't want to go in there thinking, oh, I'm about to have a fight with my friend. You want to go in there thinking, let me work this out. And that's going to require you to have a level of maturity to understand their perspective, hear where they're coming from, hear where they're going through, hear where they're coming from and what they're going through. And to just understand, like, okay, they may just be going through something. I don't believe in closure. That's a whole different topic of discussion. So I don't believe that if you had multiple conversations with your friends about a certain boundary and they keep pushing it and they keep pushing it and they keep pushing it, that you have a conversation for closure and to wrap up the friendship. No. This is more so like you never set that boundary with them. You never let them know that something upset you, or if they seem to be the one that's upset and the one that's pulling away, and you just have a conversation with them. So come at it from a place of maturity and talk to them because you would talk to the man. If things started feeling weird and the relationship started randomly drifting apart, you would talk to him. You'd be like, what's going on? How can we fix this? I feel like things are off, da 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 da, but we don't give our friends that same respect. Also, do it in person. Don't do it over text. Things get so misconstrued over text message. People read things wrong. Even in voice notes, like at least get on FaceTime with your friend and actually talk it out. And if you're like me and you're not a confrontation person, I understand that. And I understand not wanting to have the conversation. But at the same time, when you really value a relationship, is it worth losing that relationship over something that could be a small misunderstanding or a small correction or a hey, I didn't like that? Because I really do believe in talking to people about how you like to be treated. And sometimes you just need to talk it out. So that's number one. Number two, let's say that doesn't work. You talk it out, things blow up, you talk it out, you realize, wow, I don't want to be friends with someone that doesn't have problem solving capabilities. I don't want to be friends with someone that can't communicate or they just don't want to talk. They don't want to communicate and they don't want to mend the relationship. Okay. Step two is to accept that. Again, like with romantic breakups, when you leave the door slightly open with things start to get misconstrued. So, what I wholeheartedly believe, please, Lord Jesus, if you don't take any other advice in this video, take this. Your reasons for not being friends with someone are valid. And you need to write down those reasons so that you can go back to them and remind yourself why you're not friends with that person anymore. Because you're not friends with that person for a reason. Write the list. Because I promise you there's going to be a moment where you're lonely or you're bored or you're looking back at memories or someone reaches out. You're going to be like, "Oh my God, well maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe it wasn't an issue." And I hope, especially with friendships, like when God ends relationships, he does it for a reason. So find the reason in that, because when it comes up again for you to be friends with that person, it's not even like, well, let me finish my thought. When it comes up with again for you to be friends with that person, you're going to want to have the reasons as to why you weren't friends with them so you don't repeat cycles. And it's not even that you may not be friends with that person ever again. But if you have a conversation with your friend about boundaries, or you tried to talk to your friend and they didn't want to talk and things ended, conflict needs to be resolved. And we all need conflict resolution skills. We all need to be able to have a little bit of a sense of confrontation in order to resolve and work through deeper issues. And if you want a deeper friendship with someone, or if you need to know what category to put someone in, like, this is a friend that I just go out to eat with. But at the same time, is that something that we really want to use our time doing? Just a friend that doesn't add any value and that you just go do fun stuff with. Maybe that is adding value. Just hanging out, having a good time, that can add value too. But that's what I'm saying. Take a look at the value that's actually getting added in that situation to see if if that's value that we want in our lives. And to see if there's a boundary set up enough where it's like, I don't want to talk to this person again. So this stage comes with blocking a person if you need to. It comes with unfollowing a person if you need to. It comes with deleting a number if you need to. Because sometimes having a physical barrier of it's harder to reach out and go off on someone is going to save you from having to have like a weird, difficult conversation later down the line when you were like, I didn't even want to talk to this person in the first place. Also, tell other people, because when you tell other people, it finalizes stuff. And I'm not saying go around and gossip. I'm not saying that, but I'm sure that you have other people in your lives that know that you're friends with that person. If your mom knows that this was your best friend for 13 years and then all of a sudden you're not friends anymore, talk to her and be like, talk to somebody. Oh my gosh. Talk to somebody that you know is going to support your decision, though. Don't talk to somebody that you know is going to talk you out of it, and we'll try to work it out with them again, especially if you're in a toxic cycle. Don't talk to them. Talk to someone that's going to be very supportive of the decision that you made. That way you can just bring some closure without having to close things off with that person. Sometimes having the conversation and being like, we're not friends anymore. Sometimes the conversation doesn't get to be like that, which is why it's so difficult with friendship breakups versus like relationship breakups, because there's no closure. Same thing with talking stage, which is why I hate the talking stage. I don't like when it lasts a long time, because sometimes there's no closure that you can have with that person. You have to find the closure within yourself. So check in with yourself and check in with God. Was this a friendship I was supposed to have? And is this a door that I kind of want to leave open, or is it a door that I want to close completely? Now, very, very important. Like I said, please do step 2 first. Please take step 2 and just really, really sit with it, because number 3, you're going to mourn that relationship. And if you go through step 3 without going to step 2, you're just going to be like, dang, I really miss being friends with that person. Like, we had a great time. She was my girl. But it's like, girl, you couldn't trust her around your friends and your family. Like, they talked bad about you um to other people. Like, you couldn't trust them around your man. They didn't show up for you when they needed you. You need to have those reasons to remind you while you're going through this mourning process. But in the mourning process, allow yourself to be sad. Allow yourself to go through it, because it's not easy. It's really not easy. And you're losing a person that you were building a life with. Friends are also built into your life. So again, the same respect that you would give a man, allow yourself to cry about it. Have a sad weekend, watch a movie that makes you sad, cry it out, talk it out, write it out, journal it out, pray it out, like get those feelings out of your body and allow them to come. You're allowed to be upset about losing a relationship even when it's toxic. So give yourself the time to be upset about it. And don't drag it on, like, like I said, not gossiping, talking about people and just dragging it that way, but allow yourself to have the moments to be upset about it. Because next, we're going to forgive them. If you need help with forgiveness, I have a whole video on it. I'm not going to use too much time on it. But sometimes we like to say, like, oh, I forgive that person, and we don't. I have friendship breakups that I am still doing forgiveness work on because it's just so deeply rooted in how I was raised or my personality or my childhood, and there's just stuff that needs to be healed. Forgiveness work is deep and it's consistent. So if you want a video on like forgiveness work and how to do it, I'm going to link that video below. And then number 5, the final one, after you do this, because when you've forgiven someone and you're working through forgiving someone and you've gotten to that process where you're like, okay, I tried to work it out with them. I didn't work it out. I'm going to accept that this friendship ended for a reason. Allow myself to be sad about it. I'm devastated because I lost my bestie. Okay, I've forgiven myself in the situation. Like maybe you did something to mess up and you mess up that friendship. You forgive yourself too. So I've forgiven myself in that situation. I've forgiven my friend in that situation. I've forgiven the parties that have to do with that friendship breakup. Great. That is like the healing process. And now you get to date. Just like when you go through a regular breakup and it's like, oh my gosh, oh no, like I gotta get back out there. Like you have to get back out there too with your friends. So maybe that's like diving deeper into a different relationship that you didn't have before and you didn't have the time to before because you were in a toxic relationship with a friend. Or maybe not even toxic, but just that was the relationship for the time being. And it's time to invest in other relationships. Invest in those relationships. Invest in the relationship with yourself. Because a lot of the times, especially when you have like a best friend, we get codependent. And that codependency, you're always on the phone with them, you're always texting them, you're asking for their opinions on stuff. Sometimes it just means that we have deeper work to do with ourselves. That's why I'm saying it's not always that the friendship completely needs to end. Date. Date, like go out with yourself, go out with other friends, spend more time with healthy friends and family, and have fun with it. Like it's okay. Friendships aren't always meant to last forever. Relationships aren't always meant to last forever. So just we're moving on, we're accepting that, we're forgiving, and we're getting back in the dating pool with friendships. Never let a bad relationship stop you from diving into another relationship, into another type of love, because things end for a reason. And that's why we heal from them first. We allow ourselves to be sad and we allow ourselves to forgive that person and move on so that we can have deeper relationships with other people. So, yeah, I really hope that you guys get through it. It's not easy, but you can do it. Um, and it may not be the last time you do it, and you'll be able to go through this process and reference this video. So I really hope it helps. If you've been through a friendship breakup, let me know in the comments below. And let me know whether or not, like, whether you think romantic breakups, I was like romantic relationships, romantic breakups are harder or friendship breakups are harder. I love you guys, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.